Here's the scenario. I was headed up north to a remote hunt camp, no cell service. I had vehicle issues for whatever reason. Vehicle is uninhabitable. My party's expecting me in 3 days' time from now. I don't show up. The alarm is raised. The search begins. They find me after days out in the remote wilderness with nothing but my 72-hour pack. I've also brought a shotgun. I got some ammunition, bear spray, bush knife, plus all the gear I showed in my previous video. So I checked the map, found a close small lake nearby. That's where I've headed. Now I'm at my site and we're gonna start the patterns of survival, starting with first aid. I've managed to escape my vehicle without injury. I got away with my pack. Dehydration and heat stroke, which surviving in the summer are going to be the two biggest enemies of survival right off the bat. So, you know, skipping down to water, you could probably throw that in with first aid. That's why I headed to the lake, to make sure I can survive near a water source. I'm going to start on to the next phase, which is fire. So I'm going to establish myself a fire, collect some tinder, some wood, get that going, and then I'll start building my shelter. There we go. Everything's wet. This log here, I don't know, it's pretty wet, but keep on trucking on here and move on to our shelter. Okay, so this is where I'm setting my shelter here. I'm gonna use these two trees to make a lean-to. They might be a little bit too wide apart, but we'll see. If not, I'll have to find somewhere else. But I like this spot. What can I say about this? I'm happy with it. I couldn't figure out the stop knot. I'm doing something wrong. I'm gonna have to look back on it, but I made it work. The trees I picked were just a little bit too far apart, so I got some extra gapping on this side, but I dealt with it. I got some logs, some wood on the outside, and another piece on the inside layer to kind of keep things down. But overall, it's nice and tight. There's lots of room in there. It's gonna keep me out of the sun, out of the rain. This is where I'm gonna be living. Watering containers, fishing rod and mat hanging. I've moved my pack to my shelter and my camera gear in the red bag there. I'm gonna wait till closer to the evening to bring everything in and set up my bed. I just want to give a chance for the ground to hopefully dry out a bit more before I settle in there. I'm gonna have a quick sit down, and then I'm gonna head down to the lake with my life straw and get a quick drink, and then go on to the next steps, which is signals. I'm gonna be putting up 2 hasty signals. A couple of things I'm noticing, pros and cons to both winter and summer survival. The bugs, for one, I've noticed that's gonna be pretty challenging. I do have a bit of bug spray, but I'm gonna try not to use it too much. And of course, you don't got that in the winter. Got 'em, deer fly. But a pro is there's berries everywhere. So during my winter survival, I was pretty sapped of energy pretty quick. But yeah, heading down for a drink, and then it's on to signals. I've got 10 purification tabs on me. That's good for 10 liters. So I need at least 3 liters a day out here, maybe 4 because of the heat. I'll hang on to those. And if things kind of get a little rough near the end and I haven't done so well for food, and I'm kind of lazy and sapped of energy, I'll save those tabs. Save me from having to boil water. Oh, look at this. That's a nice hill. And there's plenty of wintergreen and blueberries. Signals are up. Water's established. Now I'm going to kind of get started on some food. I got the anthill over there, berries all around, but I want to try to get some meat out here. So I'm gonna make a minnow trap out of this jug here. I'm gonna take the cap off. I'm gonna put a bunch of rocks in to sink it. But if I were to get a rabbit or something, then I'd have something a little better to put in. But for now, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see if I can get some minnows, maybe a crawfish or something. But I'm gonna put some holes in this. I'm gonna cut a hole here, a couple along the side, and then I'm going to take some rope, tie it off here, and I'm gonna pitch it out and sink it down. Leave that for, I don't know, maybe till tomorrow morning. And then after that, after I throw that out, I'm going to take some snares and I'm going to go for a walk and see if I can find some sign around. Before I get my trap into the lake, I just want to do a quick demonstration for signals. I got my aviation signaling mirror here that you saw in the preparation or the gear assessment video. When you hear a plane coming overhead, you take aim and you shoot your sign at the plane. So here it goes. That's signaling. So I've actually had to make a change of plans. I need to rest because I've been working so much. That's a big issue with me, is remembering to take breaks. So I'm gonna have a nice little lay down, drink some more water, and wait out the sun a little bit here, and then I'll move on to finding some food. Just nice and cozy here in my lean-to. Quite happy with it. Got some bedside berries. Wintergreens again. They're all over here, so I'll just graze on these a bit and then maybe wander over to that anthill again if I need to. Got some blueberries here, so decent little patch. I'm gonna spend some time and pick this out. I'm not seeing any sign for rabbit yet, so get some berries while we got them here. Well, I kind of canvassed the area and not looking good as far as any rabbit sign, but there's lots of berries around. I picked a bunch of blueberries, I ate them all up, and found this nice sitting log, so I brought that back to my shelter, and it's just like too hot to do anything. I can't go very long because I can feel myself heating up, so I gotta get in the shade, take a break. I got a liter of water. I used one of my purification tablets for that, and yeah, like I'm gonna have to venture out a little further, I think, to find some rabbit action. There's fish in there. They chase this right to my feet almost, but they're way too small. Little suckers, I think. And this is too big, so I don't know. I doubt I'm gonna catch one, but I'll keep throwing. So I just re-pitched the trap out. We need to get some actual bait in there. Yeah, I need to move out to a different area to check out some hunting here. That's a nice buck right there walking this trail. Nice one. I'm going to take one more walk this evening. Hopefully I'll see something. I'm gonna cut, there's a fallen white pine over there and it's pretty bushy. I'm gonna cut a length about as wide as my shelter, and I'm gonna basically use it as like a barrier for when I'm sleeping tonight. I can't maintain the fire for the whole 5 days. To gather all that wood, I'm gonna get heat stroke out here. Anyways, I want to have some kind of deterrent barrier between me and the outside world. But tomorrow I'm gonna work on a rabbit corral. Just put one out over there where I heard some rustling around. So I'm gonna do the blockade here, and then I'm gonna carve a bird snare, get that ready, and hopefully we can catch some live food here, or shoot some live food and make it dead. I've got my pole, my landing stick. I put a hole there. I got my counterweight here, and I got my my string, the innard from my 550 paracord. I'm gonna go get this thing set up. I'm gonna see what I can use for bait. I really want to catch something with this bird snare here, so we'll see if it works this time out. The concept is there's a knot there being held from slipping through the hole by this landing stick, which is tied off with a weight at the other end. So concept is you have bait on there. I don't have any bait. For now I'm just putting this shiny piece of foil. It's just got to be enough to like pique their interest enough to come land and check it out. So concept is they fly in, land on the stick, move the stick, knot slips through, weight drops, noose around the feet, or around their legs. Point it at the top to deter them from landing anywhere else but the stick. Gonna get some water boiling and have some blueberry tea. Try to filter out whatever debris I can. Well, that was a bit of work, but I got 3.5 liters of good drinking water made up going into tomorrow. So it's gonna relax for a bit and then take one more stroll this evening, just after 9. That's the end of day 1. I'm just gonna sit, let the night set in, and get comfortable, hunker down, and get ready for night 1. I've made myself a little bit of a barrier here. Nothing, you know, it's not much, but it's something. Officially signing out for day 1. That was a rough night. The mosquitoes were unbelievable. It's so noisy. All you can hear is just oh, my legs are sore. My back is a little bit sore. I just seen some fish are breaching the surface in the lake down there. But they're far out. It's happening far out, too far for me to cast. I eat a good breakfast today. I don't know. Gonna have to take a little quick walk this morning, and then need to start collecting materials for a smoke generator. Had a pretty good breakfast. I've had some coffee, some time to kind of just think about the day. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put up a rabbit corral, and I'm not gonna take too much time videoing me making it. I'm just gonna go ahead and make it from start to finish, and then I'll give the rundown. All right, let's take a look at what I done here on this corral. 4 small pines, laying them in a square, and then I got my 4 poles here. So these are snare poles. I put them on this time instead of just wiring the snare right to the gate itself. So if you take a look, you can kind of see the snare there. And there's one on each side of the corral. So hopefully rabbit goes through, gets snared, and then spooks and takes off, and then he drags this thing and it gets caught up. And that's so that when he's pulling, there's a little more give to it, and it lessens the chance of the wire breaking. And so yeah, one on each side. It's set up pretty good, and then I just kind of went around and blocked off any other possible entries or exits. So nice little path, only path going in on each side. And then in the center, we got our bait. It's birch, young birch, shaved up to kind of put the scent out there. And yeah, so hopefully there's already rabbits around in the area. There is some small game trails, but it's kind of hard to tell. So we got this up on day 2, and getting a rabbit would be an absolute game changer here. This blueberry tea I made last night, it's freaking awesome. Oh, it's really good. A lot of flavor in there. Oh, I got a leech in there. I'll take that. I'm feeling good about that bird snare now. That leech is on there, and he's moving up and down and moving around a bit. I know he's not going to last long on there, but I'm feeling good about that. So I just tended to some personal admin while I'm waiting for my boil to cool off. I used my survival soap, took a full-on bath in the lake, and now I'm feeling just like $1,000,000. I'm gonna sit here by the lakeside and enjoy a nice can of cappuccino and move on to the next business, which is going to be getting the framework started for the smoke generator, because tomorrow is day 3 and my party's gonna realize I haven't showed up. Alarms are gonna be raised. Search will probably come out the next day or that day, and I want to be ready for when that plane comes. Framework done for the smoke generator here. Not too shabby. It's gonna work. Next is going to be filling the space from the shelf up full of birch bark and bush bundle. So I'll have to go for a walk and collect a bunch of that, at which time I'll of course do a little bit of hunting, and after that we're gonna cover the outside and bottom with boughs, spruce boughs. We'll make a little door, and then I'll make my torch that I'm going to use once I hear that plane. Got my my torch here, but I kind of messed it up a little bit. It's a little bit unstable right there, so I'm gonna just show a little trick that I kind of thought of, I guess, but using some spruce root. I'm going to put a couple of layers on here, strengthen it, wrap it around here, and then I'm going to lash it together here with some spruce root, and that's going to kind of give me a little bit more stability with this thing. The spruce root is really strong, and you can basically tie it in a knot. And that's just gonna be a little bit better and keep everything together. Put that right at my bedside, out of the rain, so it's ready to go for when the time comes. And there we have it. So smaller stuff on the bottom, get a little thicker as you go up there with the bush bundle. One smoke generator. Something I didn't talk about before is the cap on it. You call that the witch's hat. Just to keep the rain out and to build the smoke up. And once it's lit up and going, you pop that off and it lets off big puffs of smoke. So, smoke generator's done. That was a lot of work today. I'm super tired, but I feel pretty good about it. I got a lot done. Making that smoke generator took so long because I had to take a lot of breaks. I was sweating so much, and I need to catch some food in that rabbit corral. I'm really hungry, but I've been eating a lot of berries and a lot of ants, and yeah, I'm just wiped right out, so it'd be nice to catch a rabbit. Well, my boots got soaked last night. I had the ends tucked inside each other to stop them from getting wet from the dew in the morning, but just my one toe of the toe of my one boot was just out enough. It was getting dripped on by the white pines there, and then the water was trickling down into my boot all night. So my boots are wet. Not making fire right now, but it's a good reason to keep a bag full of bags in your kit, because you never know when you're gonna need some bags. I'll put those on my feet, rock my boots, and yeah, in survival, we don't get rained out, we get rained on. You learn something new every time you go out. Like, don't forget to get yourself a dry stash of firewood and cover it up with a tarp or a rain jacket. Day 3 here is not very productive. It rained all day. The bush was soaking wet, and I did go check on the rabbit corral. There's nothing there. I took a bit of a walk around looking, but the bush was just so wet. I gathered up some tinder, some firewood. It's drying out now, and we'll get a fire going first thing in the morning because they're gonna be looking for me. And we got to get that smoke generator fired up for when we hear that plane coming. So it's just a matter of time. It's nice and sunny out, and I really wish I could light this smoke generator up tomorrow, but I can't because I'll start a forest fire. Wow, look at that. Lonely Parishon Trails here. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so we're on to something here. I'm just fanning out. I fanned out from where I seen those two, and I got a couple more here. I'm about 300 yards away from my site. It's just the lake's there, and my site's back in there, so I never come this far this way, but oh, I see some more over there. Okay, I'm gonna spend some time and hopefully get a nice little batch. So I ended up getting a nice little handful here. I never was really motivated to actually pick berries. I just been eating the blueberries and the wintergreens, just eat as I go. Maybe tomorrow I'll pick a good handful of those. I'll cook these up, and maybe if I can get a rabbit or even a squirrel, I could have a really nice breakfast. I've added a couple more branches to my gate there, so shutting her down for the night, and yeah, tomorrow's day 4. Just got my mushrooms on simmer here, along with my blueberries, and it's a good breakfast out here. Blueberries here. Okay, so 2 signals. Down here on the beach, I did a V, and that signals to a plane in need of assistance. And what I did was I laid out a border of a bunch of driftwood that's hanging around here, and then I filled in the center with vegetation, and then I went as far as making a foot drag on the outside, trying to give it as much contrast as possible. I think it's pretty good. I think it looks awesome. So there's the V, and ideally could be a little bigger. Should be about each line maybe about 6 meters, but I think that looks awesome. And if you got an appreciation for survival, I think you would too. So moving up here to check the second signal is X, and that's for in need of medical assistance. So same thing. I used some spruce boughs and to fill this one in. It's a little bit darker, so, and I like the way I layered the border over top, like on this line here. So seeing this from the air is definitely gonna let somebody know that this is man-made for sure. And yeah, basically did the same thing. Did the border with the driftwood, filled in the center with vegetation, and then did a foot drag along the whole outside. So pretty happy with it. Like I said, it took me about an hour of some pretty hard work, and now I'm just going to tear it all down and move it and throw it back into the bush, because I didn't let the ministry know what I was doing here. I should have. Maybe next time I will, because if a plane flies over and sees this, I think they'll end up sending someone to come and check. So I just tended to some personal admin down at the lake, gave my feet a really good wash, and let them dry in the sun, put on some clean socks, and I'm really hungry. I had the blueberries and mushrooms for breakfast, but I'm gonna go for a little walk now and try to see if I can hunt some food, because I haven't caught anything in any of my traps yet. And we're on day 4. I've been eating a lot of berries, a lot of ants, and I've gone through my emergency rations. So I got no more food. Time for a scenario. I'm out hunting. I'm low on calories, low on energy, fatigued, all that. I'm not as sharp as I was 2-3 days ago. I'm walking and I'm looking up and I don't see a little hole or whatever, a rock, something. I trip, I fall, and I fracture my fibula. Okay, so as soon as I go down, I know there's something very wrong. There's pain in my left shin and it hurts to touch. That's when I go for my first aid kit, which you should always keep on you, and you should always know what's in your first aid kit, where things are and what they're for. Don't just run out and buy a first aid kit and slap it on the shelf and say, there, I have a first aid kit. So I'm taking the shears and the boot has to come off, so I'm just gonna do it as gently as I can without trying to cause as little pain as possible. And I cut my pant leg open with the shears so I can take a better look. There's swelling right away, and I'm checking for bleeding underneath where I can't see, make sure there's nothing protruding out of my calf. Next, I'm going to take my saw and I'm going to cut this little birch limb, and I'm going to apply a little bit of remote first aid on myself. I'm going to use this limb to make a splint, and what that's going to do is it's going to stabilize my fibula, and I'm going to be doing this using some triangular bandages from my first aid kit. I have the soft splint, but for this demonstration I'm going to pretend it's not there. So taking out a triangular bandage, I'm going to use to tie the splint on. I'm just going to open this up and then fold it, roll it, and get it ready to tie. And when I'm tying the triangular bandage to my leg and the brace, I'm going to be putting one above the break or fracture and one below the break or fracture, and I'm going to be sliding it under my leg. And when I tie it off, I'm going to make sure that the knot is resting against the splint and not against my leg. After that's done, I'm just going to make sure I pick up all my gear, pack my first aid kit away, and make sure that nothing gets left behind. I'm going to clear my firearm, and I'm going to use it as a crutch to help me get myself back to camp. I did find some more Sean trails on my little walk there after I dealt with that leg injury. Cooking them up in the can, and that's gonna be dinner tonight. I hear a helicopter, but it's pretty far away, and I heard 2 planes today. They're far away. Too far away to light up the smoke generator. They would be searching in a grid pattern, so just waiting for the right time when they're close enough to where they'll actually see it, and hopefully that will be that. I hear a plane in the distance. I grab my torch. I light it up. I run to my smoke generator. I rip the door open and I light up. I hold this under and light up the birch bark and the bush bundle. I hold it there enough for it to make sure it's gonna catch good. And then after that, I let the smoke build. You're gonna pop off this hat, set it down, and that's when the big puffs of smoke will get pushed up. And after it's burnt for a while, to get some more smoke, you can put the hat back on and then let it burn down. And that is that. I'm all done. I'm gonna start taking everything down, pack everything up, take my snare wire, my rope, all the materials back with me, and scatter all the boughs and everything back into the bush, and head on into town and have a really good meal. Thanks for watching.